Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. This Wednesday evening, we'll be studying the Panchama Veda and the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we'll be discussing about the bhakti and the beautiful question that Girish Chandra Ghosh asked to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and he asked, what is Ekaangi Prema, Ekaangi Bhakti? We will come to that. Let us begin with the stotra. Tabu kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. In our previous discussion, we have read that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, they are concluding by saying the discussion was going on the 2 days we have discussed on the incarnation of God and the reincarnation theory, etc. And he is concluding there by saying that the incarnation of God belonged to the class of Ishvara Kotis. The another terminology that he used is Ishvara Koti, and different type of Jiva Koti and Ishvara Koti. What that means, the ordinary self and divine self. These divine selves, they come of their own, they are not bound. What is the bondage? Again and again we have to remember, we have to go on remembering, the bondage means desire. Desire for the worldly objects, that is bondage. When I am desiring to realize God, that is not bondage. The bondage means the desire for the worldly objects. And what are the worldly objects? 5 different objects are there. So, by seeing, by hearing, by touching, by tasting, by smelling, this way we can understand the 5 different organs are going and enjoying the 5 objects. These 5 objects are the causes of bondage. All of these or any one of it, if we are having some attraction, some desire to have it, then it is in bondage. Again, bondage means again you have to come and take the birth, and we are not sure whether it will be the human birth or not. So obviously, they say, the spiritual people, the Hindus, the Sanatana Panthi, they say you better go beyond this circle of birth and death. How? Withdrawing all these desires. How to withdraw the desires? By understanding that these are all temporary. Now, this is the processes. And there we find in the jivas a group of people who are living in this world. They are just like us. They are also eating, they are also sleeping, they are also talking, they are also moving, but they are not bound by any desire. They are called Ishvara Koti. The Ishvara Koti, about them Sri Ramakrishna is telling, the incarnation of God belong to the class of the Ishvara Kotis. Incarnation of God. The God himself has desired to take a form, and there is no desire for the worldly objects. The only desire is to help the people, to guide the people, to go towards the right track, so that they also can go out of the circle of birth and death. They roam about in the open space. They are never imprisoned in the world, never entangled by it. Their ego is not the thick ego of the worldly people. The ego, the I conscious of the worldly people is like 4 walls and the roof. The 4 walls and the roof, the story, the reference, the previous discussion. There is nothing, no space to go out. So some people are there, I consciousness, that is the ego, the terrible ego. But if we try to analyze what is this ego, we will never find it. This is the very peculiar thing. Each and every one is constantly going on telling when they become the 5 the years or the 6 or 7 years old, from there I. This is me, this is I am reading, I am drawing, this is my father, that is my mother, all I. They are slowly, they become so attached. And the more we grow up in age, the more we become attached to these worldly things. Then I am an educated person, I have this, I am from this university. There also again, the same education, but this university is best university, so I belong to that. So that is also another type of ego. So this different type of egos are there, but actually to whom? That is the question. And there comes the spirituality. The moment you stop and turn back and try to see who am I, the before I was born, where I was and who I was. After my death, what is going to happen to me? All these certificates, what they are going to do with this? Some of the people close to us will maybe they will protect it for some days and then everything will go away. Even then we are so very attached to this. Some people will look at me, they will talk about me, they will write to me, my followers, nobody is following anyone. Only a little the passion, that much. So friends, here and now we have to understand that everything that we see is temporary. The people who are supporting me are also temporary. Their support, that they are all the expression of love, also temporary. Okay, that much. But if we live only for that, that is called bondage. We need food, we need a shelter, we need clothing, we need all the company, we need society. But that doesn't mean that we have to be bound by only all this. This much. Religion is nothing but understanding this much. Swami Vivekananda said religion is realization. What is the realization? This. The moment we realize that, we are free. Now there is a group of souls, they come to help the God to demonstrate to the ordinary people, to ordinary souls who are bound, that even living in this world without the attachment of anything of this world, we can survive. That is called Ishvara Koti. They come and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling incarnation of a God is also of that grade, of that stage of Ishvara Kotis. They are never bound by these. Devotees listen breathlessly to these words about the mystery of divine incarnation. Who has created this universe? We all say, all religion, all faith, all philosophy, God has created. By something it has, okay, we can call it God, you can call it any name. Now, here we say the Sanatana, the Vedavadi, or we can say Hindus, we believe that it is all temporary, we are unnecessarily attracted to this and we have to go back. Now, how I will understand? We need an example. God Himself comes in the form of a human and lives with us, is also growing up along with us. Then we find He is doing everything without attachment, and that is called incarnation. And we also try to understand, and I see that every time, every moment that person is so happy. So happiness is the goal of human life. We forget that. We think to become someone in the society, to reach man in the society with all of wealth, that is the goal. No, that is not. Happiness is the goal. I am so rich, fabulously rich, but I am not happy. Then what is the fun of becoming a rich person? I am highly respected, but the moment I become alone in my room, when I close the door and there is no one around, I am a miserable one because I am unhappy. what is that life then? So what is the goal of human life? Happiness. And what is this happiness? God. God is the source of all happiness. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, the goal of every human being is to realize God. And what is that God? Happiness. Ma Sharada Mani Devi said the same thing in a different way. If you want peace, my child, do not find fault with others. There's a great teaching. But we are at fault. So we have to rectify ourselves. Unnecessarily we are going on pointing to others, but it is our fault. But what is the goal? Peace, happiness, again, the bliss, joy. So we have to go to that. In this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna that we are reading, in every page, every time Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, that Supreme God incarnated as Sri Ramakrishna, and he was born in 1836, passed away in 1886. Within these 50 years, he gave us complete idea what is religion, how to practice religion, and what is the goal of religion, what happens after realization of that goal. Now let us read another chapter that begins from today. The Master has the houses of Balaram and Girish. Those who are following the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, those who have read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you are known with these two personalities. One is the Balaram Bose and another Girish Chandra Ghosh. The Bose and Ghosh. So this Balaram and Girish, they are not Brahmin, so to say. But both of them were very, very devoted. Both of them reached to that highest point of devotion. So this Bose and Ghosh, Balaram Bose and Girish Chandra Ghosh, the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is visiting their houses. God is visiting the house of the devotee. Think of it. The devotee is constantly praying, and now the God is coming in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. It was Friday, April 24, 1885. Master Mahashaya, he is mentioning. About 1 o'clock in the afternoon, M, that means the Master Mahashaya, arrived at Balaram's house in Calcutta. It is in the Bagbajar locality. Those who know Calcutta is a very big city now, and it is in the northern part of the city. It is very famous. It is called Bagbajar. And there the Master came, and he found the Master asleep in the drawing room, one or two devotees resting near him. M began to fan the Master gently. So this is the devotee. The devotee is supposed to serve, and serve the service that he is rendering or she is rendering without any expectation, just out of love. The other devotees are there, they are also resting, maybe sleeping, lying down nearby. If you have visited that Balaram Mandir where Sri Ramakrishna is to take rest, now it has become the shrine. It's a big hall, and the people, they used to lie down noon time and summer time, and naturally they used to take rest. Master Mahashaya, he was a teacher, so it was a recess time in his school, so he came running over there. He saw the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is sleeping. He took the fan and he was going on fanning. So in the summer time, my teacher will be happy and he can sleep. So that he is giving the service. That is called devotee. A devotee always consider himself blessed by giving some services, in exchange in nothing. Only I like to give the service. The Master Mahashaya is gently doing it. A few minutes later, Sri Ramakrishna woke up and sat on the bed with his clothes in a rather untidy condition. M saluted him and took the dust off his feet. Master tenderly to M. Friends, we have to understand here the Master, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the God himself, showing his tenderness, love, affection to a devotee. Why? Because of his devotion, because of his service. So here, and we should learn to become like the Master Mahashaya, humble, very capable, very intelligent, but at the same time very humble and always ready to serve. Are you well? I am feeling rather uneasy. I have a sore in my throat. I suffer very much during the early hours of the morning. Can you tell me how I may be cured? And just like a little child, he was asking. They served pickled mango with the meal. I ate a little of it because he was developing slowly that the throat problem, and that he was feeling uneasy, little painful. So he was talking with his devotee, but he was the God himself. When he is in the body, he is behaving just like a very humble, a little child as if. So friends, we have to understand when the God is coming in the human form, he behaves like human, but that human is so simple and is the open book. He is not hiding anything. He is not trying to show anything. There is no show up. No hypocrisy at all. Those who are really trying to become spiritual must be very careful about it. Majority of the people that we see in this world in the name of religion, we see they are showing off. Otherwise they are something and they will be presenting themselves. They're like the actor, actresses. This should not be. It should be simple, the original. This is Sri Ramakrishna. When you read the Gospel, of course there are great teachings are there, practices are there, but at the same time, when we are reading the simple line like this, the Master Sri Ramakrishna, he is sleeping, and then when he got up, his clothes were not that way proper. He is not careful about that too. And he is also discussing that I am having some pain, I can't eat properly nowadays, and everything that he is not hiding anything. This is the simplicity. And how is your wife? I noticed the other day that she was looking rather sickly. Give her soothing drinks to keep her nerves cool. Master Masha's wife's that as we can understand was little mentally was disturbed. So Sri Ramakrishna observed it and talking to the Master. Aim, green coconut milk, sir? Master, yes, a drink made of sugar candy is also good. The Sri Ramakrishna, he is giving a talk in this way. Since last Sunday, I have been living in our house with my parents. M is mentioning. Then Master Sri Ramakrishna, oh, you have done well. It will be convenient for you to live at home. Since your parents live there, you won't have to worry so much about your family. The wife and the children, they are there, but the elderly, the parents are also there, they will be taking care. So here we find that he is also concerned about that devotee also, their family, how they will be happy. So this is the way we always find the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna helping his devotees. While Sri Ramakrishna was talking, his mouth became dry. He said to aim like a child, I feel a dryness in my mouth. Do you all feel like that way? So he is comparing. So these discussions are going on. Balaram, when he heard, he said, let me get a jamrul for you. It's a type of fruit that has a very wonderful juice. So maybe that will help to is going on drinking water, but that is not helping. So maybe that fruit can help. Sri Ramakrishna immediately, you don't have to go out in the sun. It's the summer time. Aim was still fanning the master. Master, you may stop now. You have been fanning a long time. The master Mahashaya, I am not tired, sir. Then Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna tenderly, no. So when we find this, when you are reading this, and if you close your eyes and try to imagine, it is a vivid description of what is going on. The Sri Ramakrishna is sitting like that and the Master Mahashaya is fanning. This type of discussion is going on as if there is nothing spiritual. But have you noticed? There's so much of care that God has for his devotee, love, affection for his devotee. This is spirituality. The spirituality has nothing to do with any selfishness. There is no selfishness, pure love only. That's why he is concerned about his wife. That's why he is happy that his parents are there to look after his wife and children. So this person will be a little free. He can go and attend his work and can come to Dakshinesha to get the company of the holy people. So he is happy in that way also. At the same time, when they are fanning, he is concerned. So we can understand that God is concerned about us. And if we are genuine, if we are sincere. So he is going on talking like that. Sri Ramakrishna will be going to visit the another house. That is the devotee is telling. M's school closed at 4 o'clock. He came back to Balaram's house and found the master sitting in the drawing hall. The devotees were arriving one by one. The younger Naren Ram came. Narendra too was there. M saluted the master and took a seat. Master Mahashaya, he came at the time of lunch break. Again he went back, attended his duty as a teacher. Again he is coming and joining after the school hour is over. And he is giving now the description who else are coming and joining the master. Narendra too was there. M saluted the master. The lady sent a plate of halwa for the Ramakrishna. Because the sore in his throat, he could not eat any hard food. Master to Narendra, this is nice stuff. Eat some. It's good. Eat some. We know the love for the Narendra, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he had a great love for the young Narendra. Dusk was coming on. Sri Ramakrishna was about to go to the house of Girish, who had arranged a festival to celebrate the master's coming. The master came down from the second floor of Balaram's house with Aim and a few other devotees. Near the gate, he saw a beggar chanting the name of Rama, and he stood still. He fell into meditative mood and remained standing a few minutes. He said to him, he sings well. A devotee gave the beggar 4 paisa. A devotee means this Master Mahashaya himself. He is hiding, he is incognito. Sometimes he is mentioning a devotee, sometimes Aim, sometimes Master, sometimes Mahendra, and different way. But this is thus, immediately he understood Sri Ramakrishna liked that person, and the beggar who is singing the name of Sri Rama. And not only that, when he was taking the name of Sri Rama, Sri Ramakrishna, the God, standing over there in a meditative mood, listening to the song of Rama. Friends, most of our ashramas and many places, we organize the holy kirtanas, the songs in praise of the God. We just sing over there. Do we believe the God is listening to that? See here. And when we sincerely sing, God really listens to that and He becomes happy. So these are the traits of the devotees. I feel in that way. So when we are devotee, we believe that God is there, and when we do anything for God, God is accepting that. When you are reading, when you are talking, when you are singing, when we are discussing about God, He is present, He is listening, and sometimes He is happy. This is the way, if we understand, then we will understand that our devotion is truly getting a form, a shape. Otherwise, we are thinking, oh, this is the gospel I have to read, so I am just reading a few pages. Not like that. Each and every word, if you are reading properly, you will feel God is there. A beggar is singing a song, and Sri Ramakrishna came. He liked that. Somebody gave some money to that beggar. That's all. No. The beggar sang the song that touched the heart of the God Himself. And who that God? Rama Himself. He who was Rama, He who was Krishna in this body, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said. He was an ego-free person. When He said that, it carries a long meaning. It's true. And that Sri Rama in the form of Ramakrishna is listening, that someone is singing in the praise of Sri Rama. He liked it. And the beggar is also really a very lucky person. Gave the money. Sri Ramakrishna entered Boshpada lane. Boshpada lane, still it is there in the northern side of the Calcutta. And he is laughing. He said to him, "What are these people saying? There comes Paramahamsa's battalion." When the Sri Ramakrishna, he used to go to that area very frequently. And whenever he used to go, he would be naturally walking, and many people following. The other people, they used to cut jokes. Those who are not liking, not knowing properly, they used to say, the Fauj means the battalion of a soldier. So battalions are coming. Sri Ramakrishna remembered that, and so many people following Sri Ramakrishna, all they are going to Girish Chandra's house. So he is remembering that and mentioning, there comes Paramahamsa's battalion. Sri Ramakrishna entered Girish's house. The latter had invited a large number of devotees to join the festival. Many of them were present. They all stood up to receive the master, who, smiling, took his seat. The devotees sat around him. Among them were Girish, Mahimacharan, Ram, and Bhabanath, also Baburam, Narendra, Jogin, younger Naren, Chuni, Balaram, Aim, and the other devotees, who had accompanied the master from Balaram's house. The group were already waiting in Girish house, and from Balaram house also they came. So all devotees are constantly getting the company of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and they are all blessed people. They are coming to this place, and together they are sitting. Now see how Sri Ramakrishna is slowly training them up. Master to Mahimacharan. Mahimacharan was a great scholar, we all know. I said to Girish about you, there is one very deep. You are only knee deep. Now you must help me check up on what I said. The Girish and Mahimacharan. Trilokya, if you remember, in the previously we were reading, Girish had a discussion with Trilokya about the incarnation of God. And today Mahimacharan, another great scholar. That means Girish was a well-read person. Of course, he was a very good debater. So Sri Ramakrishna wanted to listen to what actually they consider what is incarnation, what is this, how these people are thinking. So he asked Mahimacharan. Now Girish is also there. One is very deep, another knee deep. Now I like to know whether my assessment is good or not, correct or not. So you have to start the debate. Girish and Mahimacharan started their discussion. Soon Ram said, "Let them stop, let us have some kirtan." Ramchandra, he was a doctor, Ramchandra Datta, he was a relative of Swami Vivekananda also, and then he was a good devotee, but he used to feel that I am a doctor, educated and well established person in the society, so he used to sometimes, some devotees are like that, they will be trying to guide the other things in the ashrama. Sri Ramakrishna is present. Sri Ramakrishna wanted to listen to the discussion, and he said, "No, stop that. Rather, let us have the songs." Now the Sri Ramakrishna is replying. He said to Rama, "No, no. This has a great deal of meaning. This has a great deal of meaning." Sometimes some people they say, Swamiji in America and Europe, all the Ramakrishna Mission ashramas which are known as the Vedanta societies, what is their work? They only give some talks, that's all. They are arranging the conversation or the debate or seminar, or they themselves are going and joining the seminar, that much work. But we like to donate for those who are in the India or the poor countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, and those our money should go to them and to serve them. That's a good idea. But at the same time, this philosophical discussion to make people aware about the truth, that is also a great service. Giving the food to the hungry people and giving the clothings and giving them education, serving them with medicine, they're of course good. But they're all temporary. And when you give, after some time, again they need it. But when you can remove the ignorance from the mind of people, it has a great impact. And majority of the people, if they can understand, the religions are nothing but the different paths going to the same God who is nothing but love and unselfishness. Majority of the people, if they come to know about it, think about it, the whole society will change. Human society will change. The leaders, where from they are coming? From this society. And when they are young, when they are coming to know about it, slowly growing up into that, in the schools, in the colleges, in the social functions, in the churches, in the synagogues, in the mosque and temples, when all are talking about it and we are being educated in that way, the different paths only we are following, different culture because of the geographical divisions, and different features because of that climatic divisions. But actually we are all one. So that way if we learn, think of that day. That is the goal of human society. The God is coming down to this earth, taking the human form and teaching that only. Again and again the great souls, philosophers, they are coming, teaching that only, the oneness. But we again take up that and make a different package. It is my religion, my God, my holy book, my way of giving it to others, and I want majority of the people should follow me. It is not God's, it is the person who is trying to give that. That is the difference. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he has come to this earth, the God himself has come to this earth, has taken the form of Sri Ramakrishna and giving this teaching. And here he is mentioning that debating is also necessary. Sri Rama told Ramchandra, he told this Dr. Ramchandra, he was mentioning that we need to sing and increase our devotion, but Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, no. This has a great deal of meaning. This philosophy, this discussion, this publishing of the articles, this is also essential. They are Englishmen. Englishmen means modern people. Englishmen means modern people. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna used this word and a few in other places. The modern people, how they are thinking, how they want to establish their ideas, what are the views that he wanted to know. I want to hear what they say. Mahimacharan contended that all could become Krishna by means of sadhana. Now here, see, Mahimacharan, he was a scholar, he read many scripture, and he felt in this way, anyone can become Krishna. Krishna, the God in the incarnated as Krishna. Girish said that Sri Krishna was an incarnation of God. However much a man practiced sadhana, he could never be an incarnation. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna supported this view. We can get liberation, but an ordinary jiva can never become an incarnation. God himself is taking a form. How the jiva can be like that? From the point of view of the Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, it's completely different. So we should not mix up that. This is a different view. This is a Dvaita. God is there and jiva is there. The God has created this world and these jivas, individual selves. Now these individual selves, among them the human being, those who have God by the grace of God and by their good karma, the human birth, and with an intellect, a clear understanding, this world is so temporary. I need permanent happiness. I have tried everything. Now I must try to follow the path of religion where I can get the permanent happiness, joy, bliss. Now I am going towards that. That is called God realization. But to become God himself is little difficult. So this is the viewpoint. The master, the Mahima is telling, do you know what I mean? Let me give you an illustration. The bale tree can become a mango tree if only the obstructions are removed. It can be done by the practice of yoga. Girish, you may say whatever you like, but it cannot be done either by the practice of yoga or by anything else. Only a Krishna can become a Krishna. If anybody has all the attributes of another person, Radha for instance, then he is none other than that person, Radha herself. So that is, so we have to understand this viewpoint. He is telling, when you are thinking that it is like that, like a drop of water falling in the ocean, it becomes ocean. And there is no separation. So this is the way sometimes the people, they try to say merging with the complete consciousness. But in the God realization, they say this is a Dvaita Bhava, God is separate. There we can go near to God. We can live near to God like that. There are 7 stages are there. We can, but to becoming God, it is not possible for the ordinary jivas. That is the viewpoint of the Girish. But he is telling, no, we can. There is a mixing up of the Dvaita and Advaita. So they are asking in this way. Mahimacharan could not argue well. At last, he had to accept Girish's views. Mahima to Girish. Yes, sir, both views are right. God has willed the path of knowledge. He has also willed the path of bhakti. Mahima was talking from the point of view of knowledge. Girish was also talking from the point of view of bhakti, devotion. So, this is the difference. This Hinduism, this is the beauty, the different type of views are accepted. All are correct. Now, Swami Vivekananda very nicely put this. He said, we are traveling from lower knowledge to higher truth. Lower truth to higher truth. Not from error to truth, no. If it is error completely to truth, it will be difficult. It is not possible. It may be that I know this much only. So, he said that suppose a man looking at the sun standing on the earth, he is looking at the sun. His idea about the sun is also correct. But a person sitting on the aeroplane looking at the sun will be different from this person. And a person who is in that rocket outside the orbit of the earth looking at the sun, their experience will be completely different. But all the three experiences are correct from three different standpoints. So, traveling from lower truth to higher truth. Here also the two different viewpoints we find, one from the knowledge and the from the devotion. The Mahimacharan accepted, and then he said, he has also willed the path of bhakti, and pointing to Sri Ramakrishna he said, as he says, by different paths people ultimately reach one and the same goal. The master aside to Mahima, you see, what I said was right, wasn't it? So, Mahima was a scholar. The Sri Ramakrishna, what he said, the all paths are leading to the same goal, Mahima accepted. Sri Ramakrishna again confirmed. Are you accepting, isn't it? And that is correct. So, we should not fight. Hundreds and thousands of years the people fought on this. The jnana and the bhakti, the loggerhead, they used to fight each other. They will never accept each other's views. But both are going to the same goal. In their own way, the Mahima is telling, yes, sir, as you say, both paths are right. Master pointing to Girish, haven't you noticed how deep his faith is? He forgot to eat his refreshments. Like a dog, he would have torn your throat if you hadn't accepted his view. But we have enjoyed the discussion. Then he is telling, that is the humbleness. You two have known each other, and I myself have learned many things. The God is so humble and so simple, he is mentioning in this way. The musician arrived with his party and sat in the middle of the room. He was waiting for a sign from Sri Ramakrishna to begin his kirtan. The master gave his permission. Rama to the master, please tell them what to sing. Master Sri Ramakrishna, what shall I suggest? After a little reflection, well, let them sing the prelude to the union of Radha and Krishna. Friends, those who are aware about this, maybe that today we may not be able to reach to that, I will try. The Radha and Krishna Vaishnava Samaj. And here the Jivatma and the Paramatma, and the play is going on. The Jivatma is attracted to Paramatma, and Paramatma is hiding and tasting. So, that is as if a conjugal love, a lady and a gentleman as if attracted to each other. They like to come together. There are so many other hindrances of the society, what the people will think, etc., etc., all that is. But it is not worldly love, it is divine love. Radha is nothing but a heart of a devotee, pure devotee. The songs are going on. We will skip these songs. One after another is going on. Sri Ramakrishna, he stood up in a state of unconsciousness and went into deep samadhi when he heard, the blessed name of Krishna full of sweetness. When in that song that they were singing like that, the Krishna himself was listening to that song, and with the devotion when they sang, it touched the heart of God, and that God in the form of that Krishna, in the form of Ramakrishna, went into samadhi. Again and again I am mentioning, I like to tell it to myself and to you too, that when we sing the devotional songs, God listens. And if we can truly sing, understanding the meaning of it with full emotion and love and a prayerful heart, the God will surely listen to that. The Sri Ramakrishna, after hearing that, he went into samadhi. And again, Sri Ramakrishna went into samadhi when they were continuing. See how all Nadia is shaking under the waves of Gauranga's love. Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he was almost 450 or the 500 years before Sri Ramakrishna. He brought the love, and that though he was a Dasanamaya Sampradaya sannyasi, but he introduced the path of love, devotion, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and he introduced Radha, the love for God as if a lady loving God, a human, as a gentleman. So like that. So he listened to that song, went into the samadhi. Now talking about the Hazra, Narendra, the young boy, he was pleading on behalf of the Hazra. Hazra had many other things also. Master was not liking him, but the Narendra went on telling, no, he is a good person, why you should not bless him, like that. And Sri Ramakrishna said, you see, because he takes the name of God, Narendra, he said, many Brahmins of Bhatpara showed him respect. I am not reading the whole thing. He was going on talking about it, and Narendra said, Bhatpara is a very famous place where all the scholars used to live in those days, and when they have accepted someone means they have accepted that person. So pointing to that, he said to Sri Ramakrishna, you don't like him, but he has been accepted by those scholars. Then Sri Ramakrishna smiling, look at it, this sentence. That was the result of his japa and austerity. When we are accepted by the people, when someone is accepted by the other people, it is because he has done something good. Otherwise it is impossible. Now what are the good things? Spiritual practices. What is the practice? Japa and austerity. Trying to control all the sense organs is the austerity. So that is meditation. And japa, taking the holy name of God. So there's one line only he mentioned. This Hazra, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was not very happy with him, but the young Naren, so he is arguing the why you should not love, because the gentleman lives with you over there, and he was showing, Sri Ramakrishna was giving, so see, he does this, he does that, he's not listening to his mother wants him to go back to take care of his family, this gentleman is not going, so all this. Now Naren, he was, because of the young mind, he was telling, then when he mentioned this sentence struck me. He is telling the acceptance by the people means, you know why? Because he do the japa and practice austerity. Taking the name of God helps us. These are the indication, clear indication. Then, do you know how I look on people like Hazra? He is mentioning. I know that just as God takes the form of holy men, so he also takes the form of cheats and rogues. To Mahimacharan. What do you say? All are God. Mahima, yes sir, all are God. Mahima from the point of Vedanta. So this is the way Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. Now the Girish asked him, Sir, what is Ekaangi Prema? Ekaangi. The Ekaangi, Eka Anga, Ekaanga. The Gi is a, because they are mentioning in this way, the female way, Ekaangi. The Ekaangi Prema. Prema, so the female way they are mentioning. So this is the Eka Anga Prema, Ekaangi Prema. Sri Ramakrishna immediately, it means one-sided love. For instance, the water does not seek the duck, but the duck loves water. There are other kinds of love, sadharani and samanjasa and samartha. In the first, which is ordinary love, the lover seeks his own happiness. He doesn't care whether the other person is happy or not. That is called sadharani. That we have love, but in that love, most of the time we have seen either the wife or the husband is not very happy, all the time doubting, and like this. So naturally that is sadharani love. That is love, of course, but the husband or the wife wants that I should always be there and nobody else, never cares about the other one, the partner. Second is samanjasa and samartha. In the first, which is ordinary love, the lover seeks his own happiness. He doesn't care whether the other person is happy or not. That was Chandravali's attitude towards Krishna. In the second, which is compromise, both seek each other's happiness. This is a noble kind of love. But the third is the highest of all. Such a lover says to his beloved, be happy yourself, whatever may happen to me. Love knows no barter, Swami Vivekananda said. What is God? God is nothing but L-O-V-E. This love, this word, we all the time use it. And the relation between the husband and the wife, between the children and the parents, father and the mother, and father and the son, mother and the daughter, all these relations that we see is nothing but love. But what type of love? Is this fast type, that I only want my happiness and I don't care for the second one, whether he or she likes it or not? Second is both are seeking each other's help. Most of the modern times they do like that. But the third one, that is divine love. Here it says, whether I am happy or not, it doesn't matter at all. But I like to see you happy. That is called spiritual love. Such a lover says to the beloved, be happy yourself. Whatever may happen to me, Radha had this highest love. She was happy in Krishna's happiness. The gopis too had attained this exalted state. Friends, in the next class we will be discussing a little bit about these different schools of love. Because in the Vedanta, they are having the different schools of devotion. So we will be, as because it's the beautiful discussions, it may take some time. In next Wednesday, we will try to discuss the different schools of love. Now, let us stop over here. If there is any question, we will try to answer.
Triguna Majumdar is asking how to remove expectation, question mark, how to increase love for God.
So that is called sadhana. Triguna, there's a expectation we can remove by analysis. So what is the analysis? If I am expecting that my son will be with me, but because of his job he has to live somewhere else and there is no other option, so obviously you can say, well, it is his life, I have lived my life. The parents should think in this way, we have lived our life. Now it is my son, my daughter, our children, it is their life now. Wherever they are happy, let them be happy. Wherever they are successful, let them be successful. And that is sufficient for me. They are happy, they are doing well. So that is the way, if you are thinking, your expectation will come down. And the more it is coming down, automatically your mind will be free from the attachment. The moment the mind is free from attachment, wherever you like to turn to that mind, it will go over there. Now if you turn it to God, you can love God. Thank you.
Harsharaj Bhattacharya is asking how to harmonize internal renunciation and external karma yoga.
Bah, beautiful question. The Harsharaj, that is internal renunciation. As a householder, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna again and again said, this is your internal renunciation, it should be. What is that? He gave so many examples. If you have read the Gospel, you know, or the life of Sri Ramakrishna, where it has mentioned that a lady is working in a rich man's house. She is taking care of the rich man's children, and she mentions out of great love, oh, my son, my Rama, my Jodu. But she knows in the heart of hearts, they are my master's children. My own children are somewhere else. So that is the way you have to renounce. This is my father, this is my mother, this is my family, this is my society, and I have to serve them because I am here. But at the same time, every moment if you are telling to yourself, any day I may go away from here, I may die any moment. So whatever the responsibility I am supposed to perform, I should perform with all diligence, with all sincerity, with all love. But at the same time, I am not going to be attached to any of these. So that is called mental way of giving up. Sannyasa means giving up. What to give up? Attachment only and nothing else. And what was the second one? Second question?
How to harmonize
Karma
and external karma yoga.
Karma. And this is you are performing, you are doing the work that very sincerely, but at the same time you know that any moment I can go away. Like the people who are retiring, the 2-3 days before or a week before of their retirement, they always become very completely detached, and will be telling to other people, hey, if I had anything wrong about you, please don't mind. You'll be shaking hand or hugging and saying goodbye to everyone, and he'll be loving every corner of the office, each and everything, including the people like the peons and all others. He will go and say, now after 7 days I am leaving, you must be happy, like this, like that. That man is there in the office. He is also finally he is performing his duty. At the same time, he is completely free from that. Like the person going to retire, as he is behaving in his office, similarly every day think yourself that I am going to retire from this world, and work sincerely, loving, but not attached. Thank you.
Devashish is asking, is human expectation a part of Maya, or it just comes out of the desires?
It is of course it's a part of Maya. Everything is a part of Maya, because only reality, from the point of view of the Vedanta, only reality is that consciousness, supreme consciousness, which is known as the Brahman. Other things are nothing but the Maya. But at the same time, when we are here at the practical level, so obviously we have to be very practical. We have to accept this moment that I am leaving and all this responsibility I am having. But you know, Devashish, again and again, as Sri Ramakrishna said, you must apply oil and then break the jackfruit, the raw jackfruit. So there will be no problem. If you have already applied the oil or the lubrication, then you are not going to hurt, your skin will be saved. So that way, knowing this, that all that we see around us are all temporary. I myself, I don't know how long I am going to survive. And that way, if we continue our life, it will be unique spiritual life. Thank you.
Shima Biswas is asking, when they misunderstand parents, what should we do? When
the children misunderstand the parents, you know, this is very difficult to change the other's attitude. But as a father and as a mother, if we go on, this is the capacity, it is teacher's capacity. You know, sometimes same thing other people will be tell in a very convincing way, and all people accept that. So we have to develop that capacity to convince them. Then afterwards, that is up to them, whether they accept it or not, up to them. It is, everyone comes with his own fate, own karma phala. So naturally, I have tried my best, and if you don't listen, it is up to you. So that much. Thank you, friends. Let us chant this mantra and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.